Good morning. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your morning flash update for this Thursday, the 27th of June, 2019, about 9:12 a.m. Central Daylight Time. So we saw the first round of the debates last night on the Democratic candidates. A certain amount will be knocked out. Some may just no impact at others. Others did fairly well for themselves. And we'll see tonight's second round as to what goes on. But the numbers are going to start falling off quickly. So we look at the markets. We have a mixed market in the stock indices with the S&P up, the NASDAQ, and the Russell, but down in the tech-heavy. Down in the Dow, which is feeling the pressure of Boeing and other companies where they're getting pushed back. In the metals, a nice break in the gold, but good support showing up in the market. But most of the metals are lower. You know that right now in Japan are arriving the heads of many foreign states, the G20. And as they arrive, we start hearing the little bits as to what China wants and the U.S. wants to get trade talks back on track. What they want is a stopper to begin with. China doesn't want to buy more goods. They're not going to agree to what they did before. It sounds like they want Huawei to be thrown right back and the restrictions on them taken off. And of course, the international laws, they don't want to be told what to do. That's what I'm reading on the early part. That doesn't sound like a very good thing to get the trade talks going. Then we have problems with India because India's tariffs on U.S. goods are a bit high, so the president's going to have to talk about that with Mr. Modi. There's a lot going on, and if you can get a handle for it, great, but it's going to be difficult. We're waiting this morning, and probably it just came out, the numbers on the nat gas that they're due out. They're expecting about 100 billion cubic feet. I think the market's built that in, but there's warm temperatures starting to come, so I'd pay attention to that. We're in the 90s in the Chicago area. That's going to move east. You can see how the other products, though, backing off a little bit. In the grain markets, very, very stable. Bonds and notes, I would expect them stable today, too, especially through tomorrow as we get into these G20 talks. The National Association of Realtors, May pending home sales, up 1.1%. They were looking for up 1%, so that's a beat on that part. Home sales, though, year over year, down 0.7, sort of beats the other number. Final GDP and chain-weighted price index, if you look at these numbers, they're very much in line or slightly better than what the trade had been looking for in the preliminaries. Weekly jobless. This is a little scary. Now the claims are starting to go up. 10,000 to 227. Weekly claims up 22. So now if you start putting in the averages to them, the wording gets to be, while we're still in the 4-week average near the low points, they're climbing. And that could get the Fed's attention as they get a bit concerned. Germany's preliminary CPI up 0.3 on the month. They expected up 0.1. Yearly CPI for June up 1.6% on the year versus expected 1.4. A little bit of a beat there. Then we get to the International Grain Council crop projections. And as you look at these numbers, you're seeing them fall. U.S. is to blame. Our crops are far behind. In fact, when you get down to the soybeans, they're looking for 9 million tons from the previous forecast. Adding, and they said this, that the U.S. crop was the contributing factor in the decline. That's not something we don't realize. That's why you got a 9 in front of soybeans and you're holding in the 450 level in the corn right now. The question is, as the crops now mature to July 4th, remember we hear knee-high July 4th, you wait to see what that's going to do. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day. I will talk to you all later today at your end of the day videos. See you then.